Oh my God, here we go. Game one, last match of the season, ErA versus Kaldi. It all comes down to this. This is for all the marbles, whatever that saying is ever meant.
Buddy,
I've never
guys,
gotten that one.
You get out there on Twitter and you tell your friends that this is happening, because this is the biggest match in HPL right now. You are not going to want to miss it. This is deciding who gets the last chance to win this championship and $20,000.
And ErA is going with Paladin in game one, and this one, he's going for a longer Paladin game. You know, normally when people queue up Paladin, you think it's going to be that super aggressive, low to the ground, one drop, two drop deck, but I see a Quartermaster.
Yeah, Quartermaster, not too uncommon, I think, to be found in any of ErA's decks. You know, if he's going to play Paladin, he's going to want that staying power. He's going to want something that's a little bit longer game. But Kaldi playing this one a little bit closer to the best here. You know, Druid, very safe pick, very consistent pick, able to kind of go both ways. And in game number one, I think that Kaldi's going to want a little bit more information before he decides to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I fully expect Kaldi to play Druid in game one against ErA in like 99 out of 100 matches because it's so safe. It's good against a lot of what ErA does. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Keys and Mystic in this deck.
I would not be either. I mean, we've talked about it before. I hate that card, but if there's a deck that it really fits into, it's this one. This deck can get so punished by secrets, more so than just about any other build out there. You cannot afford those kinds of tempo losses. So to sacrifice one of those cards, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Oh, that was an interesting draw. He's got some pretty big turns here over the next turn or two. So he's got to figure out how he wants to curve out here because he can coin out a Pilot Shred here. But he could also innervate out a Druid of the Claw. So he's got a lot of choices. He's got to figure out what he's wondering what ErA's going to do next turn. That's the most important part.
Yeah. So Druid of the Claw, I think this is super safe. You're not giving away too much for this one. Really, the only things that punish you, I feel like, are True Silver Champion, maybe Eldor Peacekeeper.
Well, yeah, but it still gives you some pretty good curves because next turn he can still Keeper or Pilot Shredder. Then the turn after that, he's got, you know, Wrath with another 4-drop if he wants, and any turn, you know, mixed into there, and then he can coin out the Ancient of War on turn 6.
Yeah, and this is a really big deal right now, is this Piloted Shredder. Obviously, he's going with this one. No reason to pick off this 1/1. But the reason it's such a big deal right now is if he drops a 1-health minion, the investment into that hero power early on means ErA can check it and just go from there. But if he misses on this Pilot Shredder, say it drops something very valuable, suddenly Kaldi has a little bit extra time to keep buying tempo.
Yeah, well, ErA's got a couple good answers to most of the things that could come out of this Shredder. I'm very surprised. I guess he's not attacking the Shredder when he makes this play.
I think he's playing around Mana Wraith is really what he's doing.
Okay, yeah, but I mean, I still think, you know, if he has something like Mana Wraith, you could just play Defender of Argus or Eldor Peacekeeper here. I think I would just attack the Pilot Shredder first before playing the Loath up here.
I think it's definitely a possibility. So now this is exactly what I was talking about. At this point, now Kaldi has a couple of options in front of him. Either A, he can match Loath with ErA, or B, he can use the Goblin Auto Barber and then use the Keeper of the Grove to try to buy back some of this tempo. Now, the major thing that's happening here is this matchup, I expect it to go long. So cards like Sylvanas and Tyrion, you need to be able to take care of these and take care of them pretty efficiently.
Yeah, this would be, I think, a bad use of Keeper of the Grove. Not terrible, but just, you know, underwhelming. And I like what you said, just keep it for you know, the last couple big minions like you're talking about. But this Peacekeeper.
Yeah, this is one of the spots I feel like where you can get punished for this, is if this exact situation happens. And so now ErA does have a choice in front of him. Either A, he can take out the Loatheb very cleanly, which leaves the Goblin Auto Barber to trade, or number 2, he could take out the Goblin Auto Barber and then worry about the Loatheb in the meantime. And frankly, I think this is a lot safer to do it this way. This make sure that you can't silence the Loatheb and maybe pick up some extra value from it.
Yeah, that's the only thing. I think he's playing around silencing the Loatheb because, you know, this doesn't protect his Eldor Peacekeeper, and it just, with a Sylvanas in my hand, I think I would want him to Keeper his Loatheb.
That's really where it's kind of at too. So I mean, I can see it both ways, but you know, it's hard to turn down a trade that's that valuable.
That's a very complicated turn on many different contextual levels. That turn is actually, I mean, we could sit there and talk about that turn for probably an hour.
Yeah, ErA just gonna equality straight away here. Having second thoughts at this point, though. You know, I mean, look at what happens. Say he attacks in this Loatheb, or say he just plays Sylvanas on this board. You know, your opponent has to have Keeper of the Grove to effectively deal with this.
I do like this, though. He gets a Defender this turn as well, so he actually doesn't lose his Loatheb to a hero power. So I like this turn a lot from ErA here.
He also continues to tempt Kaldi with a Keeper of the Grove here, but with an Azure Drake pickup, whew, that was about the best one in the deck.
Yeah, this Wrath just got very, very good. I don't know why more people don't play Azure Drake and Druid. I love it.
Well, a lot of it was just because the format got so aggressive at a point that you couldn't afford to play Azure Drake anymore. Right. But since it's kind of slowed down a little bit, this card's been creeping back in slowly. You know, this isn't an adjustment where you just kind of wildly go one way or the other.
Right.
This is a tough one to call.
Yeah, you definitely saw it starting to get its way out of this deck when, you know, Undertaker was running amok.
Oh, yeah.
In Hearthstone. You'd be like Undertaker, you'd be like, Azure Drake, and
Oh,
you're like,
God.
take 10.
I had nightmares. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm shuddering. I don't want to think about it.
Pre-nerf Undertaker. For anybody that's seen that card, just think about it. It used to be
stop. It hurts.
broken.
Oh, it hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, it's painful to think about. Sludge Belcher, Shade, and Extramus. Pretty darn clean turn here from Kaldi. The only thing he's really got to be worried about here is Consecrate. And so because of that, you might see him pick off the Silverhand Recruit before he takes out the Defender of Argus.
Yeah, I like this play here from Kaldi. You know what I've noticed in the last about 2 weeks of the season? I don't know if anyone's been more on point than Kaldi.
That's what I'm talking about, too.
He's been so focused.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that came from the amount of pressure that he was holding in his life. You know, again, moving over to Switzerland for the summer, having some struggles with his team. You know, that's a lot of stress to be putting on you personally. So when all that got relieved and he's found himself in such a great spot now, I feel like Kaldi's just 100% focused. And this is the Kaldi I've always wanted to see because I knew this potential was there.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a completely different player over the last couple weeks than the beginning of the season.
This is also a really tough turn for ErA here. You know, Sylvanas looks mighty tempting on this board.
That wasn't bad.
But Tyrion's so powerful. You know, if the Tyrion goes unchecked, you basically have won the game. So it's a matter of whether or not you feel like Keeper of the Grove is an important card, whether or not playing around combos is an important card. ErA's going to put his faith in the light, and that light's going to get shut up.
That was a weak put your faith in the light. I'm used to the bigger, more boisterous, louder ones.
Well, it's, you know, it's getting silenced.
Yeah, it's a very, yeah, I was gonna say, it's getting silenced and it's a very serious match. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but it depends on the moment. You know, if the moment was, if this didn't happen, this, you know,
Put your faith in the
you
light.
know,
That's what I'm
just
used to, you know?
context.
Yeah. Used to be you being way more boisterous, Nathan.
I'm used to wearing matching pants and coat as well, but you have blue ones on with a black jacket.
You said you weren't gonna tell them.
I got him. Savage Roar is going to be the play here. Doesn't want to expend a swipe. Knows that Muster for Battle is one of the cards that could potentially get a little bit out of hand. Like say this board gets cleaned up in the future. This is really good recognition from Kaldi. Also, the swipe is just a lot more flexible. You know, if he uses the swipe, he's going to have to trade in something anyway. Why not use the Savage Roar right now?
Yeah, I like using Savage Roar here. Plus, I mean, he's got reloads in his hand. You know, next turn he can Ancient of Lore and Shade of Nexaramus. Because it's all on ErA now to take care of what's going on Kaldi's board.
Unleashing the Shade here was really interesting to me. I mean, ErA does have very few cards left, so it's unlikely, I think, that he has a true Silver Champion. I mean, he even drew it this turn. But you know, do you need to unleash it right now? Do you need to get aggressive?
I mean, I don't...
Whoa, Nelly.
We'll say, I don't hate it from that play.
2 massive 7-drops at this point now.
How do you pass up Dr. Boom? Shade of Nexaramus?
Oh, how do you pass up 2 extra cards?
I mean, I would just make him... I mean, he's going to have to put a lot of resources into taking care of this board of Dr. Boom. And then you just follow that up with an Ancient of Lore? That seems great to me.
Yeah, try to run him out of gas first and then follow up with stronger reload.
And just put the foot down. Look at this board state.
Yeah, this is not a joke. The one blessing that ErA's gotten from this is that he hasn't seen, or is that he's already seen a Savage Roar. But Sylvanas and Aldor Peacekeeper, this is a pretty darn good answer to this board.
Yeah, he doesn't have to take 7 now if he wants to use his weapon plus Sludge Belcher, and he can keep it around. Maybe he's going to keep the Dr. Boom around in case he wants to try to steal it with the Sylvanas.
I have to believe that he's going to Aldor Peacekeeper it. Yeah, I would be shocked if you didn't use this right now. It's clearly so very good.
It's ErA, though. I mean, we've seen some crazy creative lines from him all season long. Double swipe here. No, that doesn't get it done. I was doing I started doing counting too. Nathan and I both started counting immediately when swipe came up.
It's like Dr. Boom's 1 power now. He's not 7.
Yeah, if he was 7, I think it'd be pretty over, but he would just get through too much damage this turn. And this game's starting to get really real now.
You know, this is really tough because this Boombot could just trigger the Sylvanas. And everyone knows when Sylvanas gets triggered, she steals stuff.
Yeah, she gets mad, turns into a klepto.
Only in death, though.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about this card is like I thought Sylvanas couldn't die. I thought that was the whole purpose behind the curse.
I actually don't know too much about WoW lore.
Stuck in my own head. Dr. Boom's going to get stolen here. And, Kaldi at this point, I mean, does have still some pretty decent answers for what's going on, but his draw has been this turn has really slowed him down quite a bit, and that's really been the bigger deal for me.
Yeah, but this board isn't that bad, and if ErA doesn't do anything great this turn, like, I mean, look at his hand, it's really bad.
That was the worst draw in the deck. I mean, that's the first emotion we've seen from ErA this entire game.
Do you ever just Ironbeak Owl your Dr. Boom here? I think you have to.
Well, yeah, you get 6 extra power out of it.
Yeah. I was supposed to say, this is how we start winning. Yeah.
It is going to add the Zombie Chow as well, so this is his big push. But Kaldi happens to have a pretty decent answer to this. It's going to be a matter of whether or not he can actually recover in the situation. And with the Innervate draw...
He actually picked up Innervate here, so he can play Swipe this turn as well.
Yeah,
there's the Keys and Mystic.
To exactly 0 surprise.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there's 2 copies in some of his decks.
What does Kaldi die to here? Is there a card in the Paladin deck that's going to kill him this turn?
No, there's usually no reach, or not enough reach from here.
And just as he was trying to save these swipes, ErA picks up Muster for battle, and suddenly Kaldi has got a massive, massive task on his hand right now.
Is ErA trading in here?
Yeah, I think trading is a little bit best in this spot. You don't want your Aldor Peacekeeper to get picked off by hero power. And you have just enough pressure, I think, to keep going. But again, Kaldi is just going to be able to load up minions here and start pushing forward.
Now, I love that Kaldi's showing him the Keys and Mystic. I wonder if he heard the interview where ErA talked about, someone showed him Keys and Mystic in a match, in a game, and then the next game he immediately queued up his Control Mage deck because he's like, when he plays a Mystic to no value, there's no way he thinks I'm going to play that deck in the next round. Maybe Kaldi knows that, and this is like a long con.
I think he's just playing Keys and Mystic because it's really good.
Well, yeah, of course.
ErA.
No, of course. But I'm saying, like, I wonder if ErA is going to make that same kind of reaction.
Well, ErA's draw, again, pretty darn poor. 1 mana and 2 mana cards on turn 10 plus are not where you get it done, and there's no shortage of gas on Kaldi's side.
Yeah, you're seeing the power of the Druid deck. I mean, his cards, they are expensive, but this is what happens when they get to even remotely normal board states with you. Their draws are going to be so much better.
Now, how many of these minions does he actually need to pick off? Quartermaster is about the only out that ErA has left at this point.
I expect him to pick off at least 1, if not 2. But, okay, so if you attack for 4, he goes to 11. And then you have multiple ways to deal lethal damage next turn through killing 2 of his minions here.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see the Mystic go face. Yeah, this pick off 1 of them. All right, he's going to play it super safe here.
Yeah. Doesn't want any potential for this to swing out of control. And a 1-drop, a 2-drop, and then a 3-drop that is not meant for a situation like this. I think this game completely just turned around. I don't know if ErA can win it anymore. I mean, he's going to need a miracle.
Yeah, I mean, Kaldi could get really aggressive. He draws core.
There's
Never mind.
Savage Roar. That's going to end this game. Plenty of damage from Kaldi. It uses his resources picture perfect for this game and able to hang on and deliver that final blow. He takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, he takes his first step towards securing that playoff spot all alone in 8th place. Again, if Kaldi wins this match, he will be in the playoffs. If he loses it, he still has a chance, but he has to fight 3 other people for it.